Ever wondered what really hides behind those glossy airport walls? It's not just the smell of coffee that costs $5 or the endless lines of people dragging suitcases. Airports are engineered ecosystems, designed not only to move travelers efficiently, but also to watch, analyze, and influence them. What seems like a harmless terminal is, in truth, a psychological machine where every sound, light, and seat is part of a larger strategy. Picture this. You're running late, your phone is dying, and finally you find a free chair near the security zone, complete with a charging port. Perfect, right? Not quite. Many airports position these charging stations in zones monitored by discrete surveillance systems, hidden cameras, directional microphones, even Bluetooth sniffers that quietly log nearby devices. It's not a conspiracy, it's data economics. Airports and partner airlines track behavioral patterns, how long passengers linger, what they browse, how they react to stress, all to refine crowd control and retail strategy. You think you're charging your phone, but in reality, the system is charging information about you. This isn't paranoia, it's part of a global post-COVID aviation model where data equals profit. The more an airport knows about passenger moods and movement, the better it can price upgrades, predict delays, and sell calmness disguised as comfort. So next time you sit by that shiny charging hub scrolling through Instagram, remember, you're not just waiting for a flight, you're feeding an algorithm that studies how humans behave when they think no one's watching. You've just joined the security line, tired, anxious, and desperate to reach your gate. Ever notice how your pace suddenly slows down the moment the floor changes from hard tile to soft carpet? That's not random design, it's behavioral science at work. Airports use a tactic known as cognitive friction, subtle environmental cues that manipulate the traveler's subconscious. When your feet sink slightly into carpet, your brain reads it as comfort, calm, even safety. You unconsciously walk slower, breathe deeper, and become easier to manage. This isn't about hospitality, it's control through design. The shift in texture, lighting, even background music is carefully tuned to regulate crowd flow and minimize conflict during high-stress checkpoints. Major airport architects collaborate with psychologists to build terminals that act like emotional funnels. You enter tense and chaotic, and by the time you reach the duty-free shop, you're softened enough to spend money without thinking twice. Every material choice is part of an algorithm that blends logistics with marketing. What looks like a peaceful carpeted corridor is actually a form of mass choreography, a silent conductor guiding thousands of passengers per hour. It's subtle but powerful. The next time you shuffle through security, remember that your pace, your path, even your state of mind were predicted long before you arrived. Airports don't just move people, they engineer compliance. You've cleared security, exhausted and thirsty. The water fountain glistens like salvation. Free hydration in a world where everything costs extra. But here's the catch. That refreshing stream could be dirtier than a truck stop sink. Studies from multiple U.S. airports found bacteria colonies, mold, and biofilm growing inside fountain nozzles, left unclean for weeks. It's not just bad maintenance, it's a cost-cutting strategy. Cleaning contracts are minimized, and attention shifts to profit zones like retail and VIP lounges. Free water doesn't earn revenue, so it rarely earns priority. Meanwhile, bottled water sits just meters away at $5 a pop, conveniently placed after security, where you have no other option. It's not coincidence. It's deliberate product placement born from data analytics. Airports have learned that dehydration increases fatigue and impulsive spending. The drier you feel, the more likely you are to buy, from drinks to upgrades. So that overpriced bottle isn't just water, it's behavioral economics in liquid form. Next time you lift that fountain lever, remember, behind every decision in an airport lies a spreadsheet calculating risk versus return. The bacteria on the nozzle? That's just collateral damage in a system optimized for profit, not purity. Pay for the bottle, not because it's cleaner, but because the airport made sure you'd have no other choice. Think you're just another anonymous traveler among thousands? Think again. Long before you reach the gate, the system already knows who you are. Airports maintain passenger profiles shared discreetly with airlines. VIPs, frequent flyers, even those who've once caused a scene. Data from past bookings, complaints, and social media cross-checks allow staff to anticipate your behavior before you even speak. That warm smile from the gate agent? Sometimes it's genuine, but often it's procedural, part of an internal script designed to manage passengers by personality type. Airlines call it predictive service management. To you, it feels like hospitality. To them, it's risk mitigation. Someone who once argued over lost luggage gets flagged for heightened emotional sensitivity. Frequent business class travelers get labeled priority interaction. This subtle social profiling ensures smoother operations and more opportunities for targeted upselling. Your tone, posture, even how early you arrive at the gate can feed into these hidden assessments. In a post-pandemic world obsessed with efficiency, airports have evolved into behavioral laboratories. Every facial scan and boarding pass swipe contributes to a data ecosystem that studies human frustration and compliance. So when that flight attendant seems to read your mood before you open your mouth, it's not telepathy, it's training, backed by algorithms and years of quietly observed patterns. In the sky, privacy is just turbulence they've learned to smooth over. You hand over your bag, watch it roll down the conveyor belt, and assume it's on its way to the plane. In reality, your luggage goes through a secret journey, a high-tech labyrinth of sensors and scanners before it ever nears the aircraft. Explosive detection systems equipped with X-ray tomography and chemical sniffers can peer through layers of fabric, metal, and paper with startling precision. It's security on steroids, operating faster than human judgment. Each suitcase is treated as both cargo and potential threat, analyzed, categorized, and cleared in seconds. But here's what few realize. This infrastructure isn't just about safety, it's also about optimization. The same imaging data helps airlines track weight distribution, forecast maintenance schedules, and even adjust fuel efficiency metrics. Every gram matters when margins are razor thin. Security becomes a dual-purpose system, protecting passengers while silently fine-tuning operational costs. Meanwhile, above the conveyor maze, a different kind of calculation unfolds. Overbooking. Airlines routinely sell more tickets than seats, armed with algorithms predicting no-shows down to the decimal. It's a statistical hustle, legal, profitable, and emotionally devastating when everyone actually shows up. Each bumped passenger is collateral in a profit model that treats human inconvenience as an acceptable loss. Behind every "we're so sorry, sir," lies a spreadsheet proving the chaos was planned. Welcome to modern aviation, where every scan, sale, and seat exists inside a perfect equation of risk, control, and revenue. Nobody talks about it, but yes, sometimes people die mid-flight. It's rare, but it happens more often than you'd think. When it does, there's no dramatic announcement, no panic, no chaos. Instead, the cabin crew quietly activates a protocol hidden behind code words like Jim Wilson or Operation Sunrise. These phrases sound harmless to passengers, but they alert the crew to handle a death discreetly, preserve calm, and maintain control. The goal isn't secrecy for its own sake. It's about psychology. One wrong word could send a cabin of 200 people into hysteria at 35,000 feet. While that plays out in the sky, another kind of quiet operation unfolds on the ground. The airport ATM trap. Those machines sitting conveniently by the gate aren't your friends. They're built to exploit urgency and confusion, charging fees that can bleed 10% or more from a single withdrawal. Exchange rates are manipulated, hidden charges stack up, and travelers rushing to board rarely notice until it's too late. Airports profit from the illusion of convenience, a last-minute safety net that's actually a financial snare. Together, these two secrets reveal how the aviation world is engineered around calmness and compliance. Whether it's managing panic at cruising altitude or emptying your wallet before takeoff, the strategy remains the same. Control the human response, minimize disruption, and quietly turn every situation even death or desperation, into a line item of predictable behavior. You finally board, buckle up, and glance at the spotless tray table. It looks clean, right? Think again. Airplanes are essentially flying petri dishes, sealed metal tubes cycling air and human microbes for hours. Between flights, most cabins get only a turnaround clean, a few quick wipes, trash removal, maybe a vacuum if time allows. The deep sanitization you imagine? That happens maybe once a month, often during overnight maintenance. The result, tray tables, armrests, and seat belts that can harbor more bacteria than a public restroom door handle. But cleanliness isn't the only illusion up here. Once you land, hunger strikes, and the airport becomes a marketplace in disguise. That sad $14 sandwich or $6 granola bar isn't priced by accident. Retail spaces beyond security are carefully calculated monopolies. With no outside competition, airports can impose markups of 200–300%, all justified as operational costs. In truth, these inflated prices feed a massive ecosystem of concession fees and revenue-sharing deals between airlines, vendors, and airport authorities. It's not just economics, it's behavioral exploitation. Studies show that passengers delayed or stressed are more likely to overspend on food and comfort. That's why terminal layouts steer you through rows of glowing snack displays before you ever reach your gate. Every overpriced soda is a psychological transaction. You're buying relief, not refreshment. And in that moment of exhaustion, the airport knows exactly what you'll pay for peace. Ever wondered what happens to the suitcases that never reunite with their owners? They don't sit forever in some forgotten warehouse. After 90 days, sometimes less, unclaimed luggage is sold at public auction. It's a bizarre underworld of commerce where mystery bags trade hands like lottery tickets. Buyers might strike gold, designer clothes, electronics, even diamonds, or end up with a bag full of dirty laundry and expired toothpaste. For airports, it's a simple rule of efficiency. Every lost item is eventually monetized. Nothing truly goes to waste, not even your misplaced vacation wardrobe. But while some luggage gets auctioned off, other travelers find luxury hidden in plain sight. Airport lounges. Once reserved for first-class elites, these havens of calm now operate as micro-economies within terminals. Day passes, credit card perks, and loyalty programs have opened the gates to anyone willing to pay. Yet the strategy goes deeper. Lounges aren't just amenities. They're psychological sanctuaries that reinforce the hierarchy of travel. When passengers seek comfort behind glass walls, they're reminded of what they don't have, nudging them to upgrade next time. It's travel by design, inequality packaged as aspiration. Airports have learned that envy sells. Each espresso machine and leather chair becomes a marketing tool, promising serenity to those who spend more. So while one traveler bids on lost luggage hoping for luck, another sips free champagne behind velvet ropes. Both are part of the same system, one feeding the dream, the other the leftovers. Ladies and gentlemen, we've arrived early. That cheerful announcement feels like a win. Proof your airline beat the odds. But in truth, it's one of the oldest sleights of hand in aviation: padded flight times. Airlines routinely extend their schedules by 10, 20, even 40 extra minutes so they can claim on-time performance even when delays occur. It's a marketing trick disguised as reliability. The result? Passengers feel satisfied, flight crews hit their punctuality targets, and airlines protect their reputation metrics. Everyone wins, except those who value honesty over optics. Behind this deception lies cold economics. On-time performance directly influences customer loyalty scores, government rankings, and stock market perception. By manipulating time itself, airlines sell a sense of dependability that doesn't actually exist. A delayed flight can magically appear early, not by flying faster, but by rewriting reality before takeoff. Meanwhile, inside the cockpit, another quiet truth unfolds. On long-haul routes, your pilot might be asleep, and that's completely intentional. Regulated, controlled rest periods allow pilots to nap in hidden compartments or reclined seats while co-pilots and autopilot systems maintain the flight. It's not negligence, It's neuroscience. A rested pilot performs better during critical moments like landing. Still, the idea unsettles passengers because it reveals what modern aviation really is. A machine so automated that human alertness has become optional. Together, these two secrets expose a paradox. The industry sells precision and control, but behind the polished facade lies manipulation and automation, working hand in hand to keep the illusion of perfection airborne. You've just landed. The seatbelt sign dings off and chaos erupts. Everyone leaps up, desperate to escape. Minutes later, the rush continues at arrivals, where exhausted travelers crowd into the nearest restroom. It feels logical, but it's a rookie mistake. That first restroom after baggage claim is the dirtiest, most congested place in the airport. It's a crossroads of hundreds of hands, feet, and flushed frustrations. Paper towels everywhere, faucets broken, sinks overflowing, a perfect storm of post-flight fatigue and bad design. Here's the insider trick. Walk another minute deeper into the terminal. Past the crowd tucked behind secondary corridors or less visible gates, you'll find cleaner, quieter facilities. A hidden calm designed for those who know how airports truly work. It's a small act of rebellion against the engineered chaos that greets you at every arrival gate. And speaking of hidden realities, some planes take off nearly empty, and not because of cancellations. These are ghost flights, operated solely to maintain takeoff and landing slots that airlines could lose if unused. It's a surreal business practice where millions of dollars in fuel are burned just to keep regulatory rights alive. Environmentalists call it madness. Airlines call it strategy. Together, these final secrets expose the truth. The aviation world is a choreography of efficiency and illusion. Every line, every delay, every hidden flight exists for one reason: to keep the system running, profitable, and predictable.